Hey everybody, John here. Welcome back to Catbird Hill. So it is January 1st, 2021, and I love starting out the new year with just firing up a chainsaw and cutting some firewood. I always think that's a great programming for the rest of the year, so hopefully I'll be doing a lot more of this year. So I've got a huge pile of logs here that were taken down last year on our property. We had about 4 or 5 trees removed. Most of what was taken down was silver maple. And I mentioned in a previous video that there was a lot of silver maple in this area where we live in southeastern Pennsylvania. And over the last 10 years or so, these trees have slowly been declining. They've sort of reached their life expectancy and they're just dying off, unfortunately. But the good news is it makes maple's really good firewood. And also it makes wonderful wood for woodworking. So I have a lot of larger logs, really large diameter logs that I had the tree service company leave that we will later on be milling up into lumber for ourselves and maybe for some other people that want that. So we've got a little bit of a treat today. We are firing up the Husqvarna 266 SE. So this is an older chainsaw, obviously. This is no longer manufactured. It's a really popular vintage chainsaw. A number of guys on YouTube are using these. Buckin' Billy Ray uses them in his work. I've seen a few other guys use them. So I happened to come upon this one last year. I did some restoration work on it and put a Oregon 28-inch bar on it with a full house chain, and got it running really well. So this is going to be some inaugural cutting with the new chain and bar. This chain is right out of the box, so I haven't touched it at all. Normally I would do that. I don't just take a chain out of the box new and put it on and start cutting. Normally I don't do that. I wanted to do that just to see how it would perform. Of course, when after I do some cutting today, I'll go back and touch it up. But I've got a handful of logs laid out here. We'll just do a little bit of cutting, see how it feels, see how it pulls in the wood, see if I've got it tuned properly. This is it's a great saw. I just can't wait to use this more and more. It's in really good shape. I can't believe how good of a shape it was when I bought it from the previous owner. So we're going to fire it up here. One thing I do want to show you guys that I've gotten in the habit of doing, and this is not all my idea. I did steal this from somebody, I don't know who, but I just have an old wire brush, obviously very old, there's only about half of it left, and any logs that I'm going to cut into firewood that I've had laying on the ground, I always make sure with a cant hook I roll those logs over and just use an old wire brush and just brush off as much of the dirt and mud as you can. There's nothing that dulls a chainsaw chain faster than dirt embedded in bark. And in some cases, if the bark can be peeled off, I'll peel the bark right off the log. But that's a really good tip. In a 28-inch bar like this, hand filing this would take a little bit of time, so anything I can do to minimize the dulling of that chain is really going to help. So just a neat little tip picked up from somebody along the road. So let's fire up here. It's pretty cold this morning. It is about 32 degrees here in southeastern Pennsylvania. So I'm pretty happy with this. I think I need to do a little more tuning on the saw, but I very, very happy with the first real outing, and with a longer bar, it certainly seems to oil well. I just have the oiler set kind of at a medium distribution, and I'm really happy with it. So definitely a really good investment I made when I purchased that used, and I got it very, very inexpensively, and very grateful to have that. It's going to be a great tool, because I will give you a little bird's eye view here. I've got a lot of wood to cut. And some of these logs are pretty thick, probably 12, 14 inches, and longer than obviously what I cut. These were some of the smaller pieces that the tree service had left. They had sectioned them a little bit smaller, but definitely have plenty of firewood here to keep me busy for a good while. So anyhow, I hope everybody has a great New Year's Day today. Welcome back to Catbird Hill. We'll be making as many videos as we possibly can this year. I hope everybody has an enjoyable day, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. And if you like the video, please click the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It really is going to help me build this. I'm doing this very organically. I have no formal training in video or audio or editing or anything, so I'd love to get this thing rolling as quickly as I can. Thanks, guys. See you later.